All right, let's talk about this Mario Kart World update that has a lot of people saying that the game has been ruined. I personally don't think the game's been ruined, but I can understand why people are upset about this. And what the update is, if you don't know, is a change the way that you choose tracks in online mode, where previously almost everything was a connected track where you're driving on a road between one track to another. You could previously pick random to help make sure that you were getting a track that lets you do 3 actual laps without driving on the freeway in between. So this update changes that, and now in random, you now have more of a chance to get the interconnected track where you're again on the freeway. I'm actually one of the few people who like the interconnected tracks. I think it's fun to drive on the freeway with all those different cars on there. It's fun, it's hectic, it's chaotic, but I can understand why people want that more classic experience of doing 3 laps on a set track, that classic Mario Kart experience that's harder and harder to get in this game. And I see a lot of people saying, gosh, Nintendo, don't you hear us? We're saying we want more opportunities to do online races on a 3-lap track. And now you just did the complete opposite. But let me tell you, as somebody who used to work there, this is a very Nintendo thing to do. You can think of Nintendo like a skilled craftsman, finely tuning, making small adjustments to the game to make it perfect in the way that they want you to enjoy it. And when you start to deviate from that way of play, they start to get a little bit nervous because it's like, oh, that's not exactly how we created this game. We can't guarantee that you're going to have a perfect time in this. And that makes them a little bit scared. In the case of Mario Kart World, they had a tall task to begin with to differentiate this game from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which sold millions and millions and millions of copies on the original Nintendo Switch. So they've focused on this idea of an interconnected, don't call it in an open world, to make that feel really different in a game that you'll want to pick up and buy a Switch 2 to play. So I think when they start to see people veering towards that more classic experience where you're doing 3 laps on a set track, they think, oh, that's not the vision that we have for this game, of this big interconnected world. That's kind of more like the game that we just made. So why do people have a reason to buy the game that we just made if they're realizing maybe they already have that game at home? And a lot of people have pointed out that there's a really easy fix for this, is just have a different mode online where you can choose, do I want to race on the interconnected tracks, or I just want to do traditional Mario Kart where I'm going around and around 3 times on the set track? And that sounds good to me. And honestly, Nintendo has a lot of work to do on Mario Kart World. I think a lot of people have pointed out areas where it feels a little bit lacking or lackluster. And in my view, it's not a finished product. It took them so many years to wrap up all of their work on Mario Kart 8. So it's a little bit frustrating that we have to wait so long, but I do think that this game will eventually get there. But I can definitely relate to anybody who's a little bit upset about this update today.